Hey guys, welcome back. Gonna do a video here on the drive upgrade process from Xtreme gaming cabinets. So just to give a little heads up, I was originally when I ordered my machine, 1.5 was the version of hard drive that was out. But by the time my machine was built and shipped off to be delivered, 1.6 was the active drive that was being sold with all the systems. Now, that was last summer, and now 1.7 is out, and I have purchased that upgrade from Xtreme Gaming Cabinets, and I have received my drive in the mail, and I have mounted the drive in the system. Let me show you that. I used one of these little guys. Let me hold it here. This is just a cheap mounting bracket off of Amazon, and I have actually mounted it up under the machine. So if we get up under here, you'll be able to see where the drives are mounted. And I did that primarily so that I can switch between the, I can't get it to focus. See, there you go. So I did that so I can switch between the VR drive and the Vpin drive without having to pull the machine out from the wall. That was something that I don't like doing, and I want to be able to switch back and forward easier. So the other thing that I didn't realize is when I upgrade drives, again, I don't have to pull the machine out. I can simply take out the older drive and put the new one in. So we have the new drive in, and it's hooked up. And now we're going to turn the machine on and get ready to get the codes that we need for Darryl to be able to dial in and configure the machine. So let's boot it up. I'll show you what it looks like when you first boot it up for the drive. So we turn it on. This process takes a little bit. So this is the first boot of the 1.7 drive. Oh, and here we go. Operating system not found. You can get this when you have when you're switching from the VR drive over to the new drive or whatever. So what you have to do, there's a keyboard hooked up here and a mouse. You're going to Control-Delete. On my system, the select boot drive is F11, so I just punch F11 as it's coming up. And we should get a thing up there. It's picking our, let's see if I can get it in here close enough so you can read it. You're probably not going to be able to read that from the glare. Basically, it's asking me to select the boot device. So I'm going to say I want it to boot from the new Samsung SSD. Hit OK on that. It's going to come up. And because it's not configured yet for my pin, I'm assuming that it's going to come up all wonky, meaning stuff's not going to be on the right screen and all kinds of crazy stuff. So we'll see how that works. Yep. What's on the back glass should actually be on the playfield monitor. So sometimes that's on the DMD as well. I'm guessing, is it gonna boot or not boot? Yeah, it's gonna try to launch Pinup Popper. Yeah, there we go. Whoa! Let's take that volume off. So that's all wrong setting up. So you can see we got videos up on the video topper. The playfield is on the back glass. What a mess. So we're just going to get out of this and go to the desktop. And we're going to exit to the desktop. So if I'm playing your machine, you should know how to do that. You basically just hit this button and then double tap on that to exit to the desktop. If we would have flipped it over, we could have shut the system the whole way down. But now we need to do two things. We need to get the machine on our Wi-Fi and then pull up TeamViewer so that Darryl can get in. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate through here and connect the system to Wi-Fi. I have the Titan package, so I have Wi-Fi on board. If you don't have the Titan package, or your motherboard doesn't come with Wi-Fi on the motherboard, then you may need a wireless dongle to plug into one of your extra USB ports and configure that for Wi-Fi. So that's something you may have to do. So anyway, we'll go back to that and go from there. So I'll join the video here in a second once I get that done, and I'll show you the TeamViewer application. Okay, we're back and we've connected the machine to Wi-Fi. I'm going to show how I did that here on the back glass, just because, actually I won't do it on the back glass, I'll do it here on the playfield. The way the screens are cut off, because everything's on the wrong screen, you can't see the start menu, you can't see the taskbar, you can't see any of that stuff. So sometimes trying to get to those things can be tricky for people, so I'm going to show you a shortcut how to do it. If you just right click anywhere on the desktop and go to your display settings, and then we don't want to mess with this. Darryl's going to do his magic here when he gets in. Just go home, and now you can get to network and internet and Wi-Fi, and go over here to Wi-Fi, and you'll choose show available networks. Now you can see right now my machine is connected to Stark Industries, which is my Wi-Fi. Funny enough, my guest network is Hydra. So for anybody that's Marvel fans, I think I'm funny with that kind of stuff. So there's that. And then you can open any folder. So we go to Help and Utilities and go to the C drive and go to, I know you can't see this because it's all just washing out with the glare. I wonder if I zoom in, if you could see it. There you go. So, and don't worry about being able to see my password for logging into TeamViewer, because I'll recycle that and change it here in a second. So anyway, just browse to the C drive. All I did was open up Help and Utilities that's on the desktop, because that's the folder you can get to. Go to C and Program Files, and down here you'll see TeamViewer, and launch TeamViewer.exe. Once that's up, the information right here in TeamViewer, your ID and your password, is what you need to email to Xtreme Gaming Cabinets so they can get in for your system. And what I'll be doing here in just a second is actually going over here and hitting this recycle button right there to change the password. So by the time this video comes out, that will not be the password any longer. So what I'm going to do is, I got probably about an hour before Darryl gets online to do the configuration. He's doing it at 5 o'clock Eastern time. So maybe a little longer than an hour, but I just want to have it all set up and ready, and I will email him the ID and password, and he will get in and do all the setup. And that includes setting up the screens to be the right way, setting up all the DOF for the blower fans, and everything that just gets done to the machine to make everything work correctly. And I have another camera set up here. I'm going to ask his permission to kind of show some of that, and what I believe is some of the interaction. Like, I'm not going to show anything that is his secret sauce, and I don't actually believe you'll be able to see what's going on the playfield or exactly what he's doing. And I'm probably fast forward through it anyway, but I believe part of the process includes FaceTiming, so he can see what's going on with the machine and asking me to do certain stuff, like hit the flipper buttons, hit the MagSafe, hit some other things. And while he's in here doing this, I'm also going to ask him to make the buy-in button, or the add a ball, cheat a ball button, which is this coin button right here. I'm going to ask him to make that the 3D effect button. I do have blue and amber 3D glasses. They're, like I said, they're blue and amber. You can see that through there. And so I did it on the 1.6 system under my system, so that I could save the configuration. You just remap that key to, I think it's F10, I think is what it is, if I remember right. But I'm going to ask him to do that on the core system, while the main system, while the drive is unlocked, and while he's making all his changes, so that just stays. And when my kids get on and play, that's the system they play on. So they'll be able to, the button will be there, and they'll be able to hit it and do it without me having to boot into my system for them to do that. So going to do that as well. So hopefully we'll be able to show all that, and we'll do a little bit to show the system off. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through and showing the benefits of 1.7. I mean, there are tons of videos all over Xtreme Gaming Cabinets YouTube channel. I might link to that in this one, that you can go see how awesome the drive is. I just want people to be able to experience the upgrade process and how basically painless it is to do. So hopefully Xtreme Gaming Cabinets allows me to show that. If not, when it's over, I'll show the machine and kind of go through and describe what we did. So hang tight and we'll be back for that. All right, guys, here we are. 1.7 completely installed by Darryl, the man himself. Let me go ahead and mute this volume completely so I'm not talking over it. So the process ended up being very simple. Kind of going to detail it on the screen a little bit here, that you'll probably see in post-production. I'll put on the side from the for the video. But once you have TeamViewer and everything up that you saw just a minute ago, Darryl dials into it and connects, and he does a few things. And when he's finished doing his initial configuration, he'll reboot your machine. Then you'll get an email from him saying, please reboot the machine 3 times. I'm not sure why 3 times, but he said, please reboot the machine 3 times and restart TeamViewer. So I rebooted the machine 3 times. Each time it came up, screens were in a different crazy place, whatnot. I didn't record any of this, I don't believe. I'll have to check my other footage to see. I recorded a little bit of him doing his thing, but I didn't want to risk putting any of his secret sauce out there. So I'm not sure if it's going to come up, if you'd be able to see that on the video or not, but I didn't want to risk it. So he puts a lot of time and a lot of effort into this drive, and I don't want to in any way be a reason that somebody could figure out how to use this on another machine or something. But so anyway, I didn't tape all of it, but once you get back into TeamViewer, he'll ask you to send him the new code, because the password will change for TeamViewer. And he'll get back in, he'll do a few more things, and then he'll call you on the phone. And he'll walk you through checking some things for him. He'll walk you through making sure you hear the solenoids fire, making sure you hear the speakers fire, making sure if your beacons on the top are firing, a number of those type of things. So that process is one that I can only describe as it's almost like a white glove kind of treatment. It is very personable. He really takes the time to explain what he's doing and why he has to do it this way. And, basically how everything functions as far as the upgrade and making sure everything is solid before he lets you go. And all in all, that process would take about I mean, it should have taken like 20 minutes. However, Darryl and I got to talking about some things, and I was blessed with the opportunity to talk with him for quite a while during the process. So we started chit-chatting about all kinds of things, future plans he has, and some of the new relationship with Jason Baker and with Raymond Dye with Gun for IR stuff, and just all kinds of things that he's talked about on his other videos. But I just the opportunity to chat with him about it and kind of talk about that stuff. And I've got an upcoming build. I think I've shown that cabinet before. This is a cabinet that brought home a couple sheets of plywood and told my wife I was making an arcade, and she laughed at me. This was a number of years ago, but I'm going to be pulling this deck off of here and putting one of Xtreme Gaming Cabinets premium decks on there. And Xtreme Gaming Cabinets is going to redo some side art for me. We're going to redo control panel art, and we're going to make it a 4-player and just completely redo this with their system. And the deck's going to be upgraded as well. It's for lack of a better word, it's going to be about as close to being the beast machine as you can get in doing it in a deck. This build already has an active marquee up there. This is only a 32-inch screen, so it's not the big screen like you have in the beast, which I'm fine with. I actually like the 32-inch screen. But as far as the key layouts and some of that kind of stuff, we're going to be doing that. So that's going to be upcoming, and we chatted about that for a little bit. That's being held up by some of the new drive stuff with Jason Baker. So very excited about getting that done. But I wanted to show it a little bit. Everything with the table works great. I did have Darryl. Let me go back to, let me just get to where are we at here? Let me go back here. Pinball VPX. So if we, what I was saying was I did have him, if we load a table, switch the mute our table volume. Take that down so you guys can hear me. But I did have him switch the add a ball button, which I never used, the cheater button. I did have him switch it to the 3D effect. And it was done in the software, so that's now on the C drive. I think a lot of people that had 1.6 that got theirs after mine when he started talking about that feature. That's a feature that's been in VPX for a long time, and one of the competitors was charging people for it, which was ridiculous. So he kind of made a video about it and added a button for it on his cabinets just to point out to people that don't get scammed by some of these other builders out there. But on my version of 1.6, the blue amber button wasn't set in VPX on the lockdown drive, and that feature wasn't enabled. So even though I could get in and flash the Pinscape to BF10, which is what you need this button to be, I either had to go into the lock drive every time and change it with a keyboard, or I did it in my system so that I could boot to that and play it. It's really just more of a gimmick. It's I refer to it as craptacular. It's not anything special when it does it, especially compared to VR, but the kids kind of think it's cool. So it's only cool if you have glasses on and you can see it. If you have other people standing around the machine, it kind of looks like garbage. So it kind of looks like garbage even with the glasses on. But anyway, I got him do that. So the what used to be the add a ball button here now just shifts the screen over to the 3D effect and then switches it back. So anyway, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to wrap it up. The whole process was super simple. If anybody has any questions about how it went, feel free to leave comments down below, and I will be happy to try to answer them. So until next time, thanks guys.